So, week 1, we always do self.
Yep.
So, we used to call it mindset, then we called it mentality, and then we came up with the S system, so now it's self.
Yeah.
With the underlying principle of the self module is your business will only grow as much as you do.
Yes.
And I know it's a fucking... sounds cliche and it kind of goes in one ear out the other for a lot of people, but when you really sit back and think about it, it's everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have the personal growth to be willing to try shit and fail at it, you're not going to get anywhere. If you're not going to have the personal growth to learn to take responsibility of things even when they're not your fault, you're not going to go anywhere. If you don't have the ability to learn skills that sometimes you're not even aware of not having, that's one of the hardest things. Like, there's watched the Hormozy video during the week. He's talked about the cost of ignorance. Yeah. So he was like, "What do you make? What's your goal?" And they were like, "I want to make $1 million a year." I said, "Okay, so what do you make now?" It's $100,000 a year. Okay, so the cost of your ignorance right now is $900,000 a year, and it was just like, whoa. Like, fucking hell.
That's heavy.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, I don't say this to be a dick, and I'm not, I know it's a long way probably if you're a newer trainer who's looking at like, I want to make 100K as PT.
Yeah.
Like, that's like GOAT status. When I'm evaluating projects for us to move forwards, if I don't see potential for $1 million revenue, I'm not that interested.
Yeah.
And all that is like removing that ignorance of what's possible.
Yeah.
And being like, well, other people are doing it. And they're not necessarily, maybe they're smarter than me, or maybe they just know something I don't.
Yeah.
And that we can go there. Yeah. So I think being able to develop yourself and all of that is, if you don't have that,
you're
your own shit's real hard.
You're the limiting or advancing factor to your personal and career growth and development.
Which is both awesome and horrific at the same time.
It's terrifying when you think about it.
Yeah.
But it's also empowering to a degree as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it creates this ebb and flow of business that just happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. So your big question, do you have and I don't mean like, because I like to help people. Do you have a genuine why? Do you know why you have your why?
This is
or what it is?
Hard to articulate.
I'm getting there with mine.
Yeah. It's so hard to articulate. I honestly cannot sit here and like give you like these word for words of like why I do what I do. Like, I think because I have these values lined out, because I identify, like, I think I liked to do all this stuff didn't know why.
Yeah.
And then when I actually wrote down, like, when people were like, oh, you know, it's about values and it's about, you know, leaning into the things that make you feel fulfilled as a person and stuff. It was like, I like to improve myself, challenge myself, give to others, create shit, help people. And I think it just happened to be that I really fucking enjoyed training people and fitness. And I think that, like, because I was good at it, I think it just gave me the vehicle to, like, do these things. Because you know how we talk about, like, the talent thing? And, like, you know, if you're good at something, you'll do it more. Yeah. So, like, I always think about when I played soccer, like, I was a way better soccer player than a bodybuilder. Like, ridiculously better. I could just, like, watch something on TV, like a trick and something, go in the backyard, and I'd have it done in, like, 2 minutes. Yeah. I could kick a ball, fucking, I'm going in that top corner there. Just kick it. Both feet, whatever. So I know, like, and I got addicted to that. So I know that because I've got this fitness thing on lock. I'm so passionate about it. It keeps me coming back, but it's a vehicle to, like, deliver
something,
the things that I like, that I want to stand by as a person, which is, you know, to help people and shit. Because, like, even there's other parts of life where, like, Steph and I will help people and not tell Instagram. Yeah. Just because that's who we are. Yeah. You know, like, if someone's like, you can see they're in trouble, like, it's like, oh, what's up? You know, like, we fucking, there was like a car on fire one day and we just stopped and started helping this dude. There's just like shit like that.
That other people don't do. Yeah.
Well, just we'll keep going and just go, oh, you know, like, that looked weird.
Yeah.
Or just get the phone out and start videoing and stuff. So anyway, without going on a tangent, like I think that my career has manifested into a way to express my values.
Yeah. So if you're young and first starting, I think it's important to, because everyone will say like Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, it's fucking great, but it talks about company why more than, it helps you sort of find your own, I guess, compass and
to try and
figure it out yourself.
Get some awareness behind why you want to show up.
But it doesn't really help you, in my opinion anyway. I didn't know my why after that because that was 4 years ago. And I think I'm only really starting to touch on it now. I knew I liked it. Same. There was all this stuff that was happening and I was like, there's something in this that's really important to me. I don't know how to articulate it. Someone said to me the other day, a friend of mine said, you're always looking for ways for me to become my best.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what gets me out of bed.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's the gym's a vehicle for that. Business is a vehicle for that. Like helping the dog that you find in fucking Penrith, wherever the fuck we were.
Yeah, Queensland. Yeah.
And not just like walking past.
Yeah.
Like it's, how do we have the biggest impact? How do you take, and like you and I talk about like our upbringing and stuff a little bit, and it's how do you become the direction change?
Yeah.
How do you come from being underprivileged, let's call it, to being to pushing yourself despite whatever obstacles or whatever and figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I almost am allergic to the opposite of that energy too. Like if I see like just endless complaining, particularly about choices.
Even
like,
just no solutions. Like just not
I'm
coming up with solutions and just talking about problems. I'm like, this is just
physically changes me.
Yeah.
Like
it's like trying to push two magnets together.
I'm like this. Yeah. I can't even engage with this.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I think that's probably where I sit now.
Yeah, I think as a younger individual, like I didn't ever look at that. I just went, I want to give this fitness thing a crack, and I wanted to make this much money.
Yeah,
and I knew that this much money gave me opportunity to do whatever. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. Like,
I agree.
If you go, I would argue if you go into personal training, like I think inherently without knowing it, to give it a real red hot crack. It's like you've got to be passionate about helping people.
Yeah, well, there's two types, right? There's a self-serving narcissism.
Yeah,
that inherently comes into our industry because like you can sell based on looking good and people
yeah.
tell you look good forever.
Yeah,
but the ones that last and stay are, like you said, the ones that genuinely. And I think I didn't even have this written down before. I was just like, let's talk about values. Well, let's talk about why, values, goals, etc. But as we go through it, and I think about that 1 to 3 to 5 year personal trainer who maybe who's listening to this, like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Just pay attention to the moments.
Yeah.
Like the moments when I remember like driving home some nights just being like, fuck, this is the best. Client got a good result, or like we've done a few events where I've literally stood in the corner and just gone, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like we've got 60 people here in orange shirts doing this together.
Yeah.
They've all become friends within 20. Like all of that comes together, and just take note of every time you have that feeling.
Yeah.
And then start to be like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
And then how do you create more of it?
Yeah. It's the perfect example of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's super valuable because that'll help you through those shitty days.
Definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of threads, I got a thing that I'm trying to articulate in my head and then not be a shit story. So I'll tell it a shit story here and then I'll write it well later. So every time I drive here, I'd say I've got 2 directions when I leave my house. I can go straight to the Calder, which is freeway all the way in, hit the ring road, loop around, which is about 55 minutes
on a good day or
any day of the week.
Oh, yep.
It's if I go the back way, so go through highways, through some towns down to 70, and then usually hit the Melton Freeway, which is stop-start, and there's usually anywhere between a 5 to 10 minute delay on that freeway.
Yeah.
So it takes, on average, an extra 5 to 7 minutes to go that direction, plus
to go the back way? Yeah.
Plus the input of being in traffic, stop-start through towns, all that kind of shit. But there's a 5-minute stretch, about 5 minutes out of my place, that's dense country. You basically hit a rise that there's like, fuck. All right, I might be exaggerating, but it looks 100-meter drop over treetops, rolling mountains, and you can see the city.
Yeah, right.
This morning, that valley was full of fog.
Oh, yeah.
The sun was on the city, so it was clear. And then you drive down, and it's just, continues to be rolling hills and rock formations and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll go this way every time.
Yeah, just for that.
Yeah. It's like it's worth the 5 minutes. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you're not awake yet anyway.
Hey, I'm at the gym, bro.
I did see that this morning, actually.
Proof of workout, all right?
Yeah. So I think where I'm sort of going with that is in life, you have to figure out what the 5 minutes is.
Yeah.
Because
what it means.
We talk about, like, in the past, we've maybe worded it, this is me doing hope, right? In the past, we've worded it like, stop pursuing happiness, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Because you can't, by definition, happy is a state that's raised above neutrality.
Yeah.
And you can't stay there, otherwise it's neutrality.
Because then you've got it,
Right? It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
So pursue fulfillment.
Yeah.
So this is that same concept explained maybe in a better way, where what are you willing... Have you seen the new Gatorade ad?
Nah.
It's like, what are you willing to lose to win?
Love it.
I was like, that's fucking awesome.
That's so fucking good.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so wasted on like, it's like the St
drink.
Kilda Football Club's Gatorade ad. I'm like,
Yeah. Maybe that's why, because I don't watch footy.
Yeah, it's like if Jordan Peterson had said it, I'd been like, yes.
Yeah. Get that fucking tattooed on my forehead.
So what are you willing to lose to win? Are you willing to have the 5 minutes in traffic to get the view? Are you willing to sit on the airplane for 35 hours to see another part of the world?
Yeah.
Are you willing to make the uncomfortable phone calls 40 times a week to get the 5 new clients, to help them, to get that feeling on the drive home?
Yeah.
And that feeling on the drive home, I'll be honest, that like really high one, that's like a 6 month, 1 in 6 month drive home going like, this is fucking the best.
There's a lot of drives on the way home that are...
I'm exhausted, turn the music off because I can't take any more stimulus.
It's like, fuck, can I keep doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe I'm adopting that, and it's not Gatorade's, it's mine now. Like all the other quotes that I steal.
This is a little bit off the cuff. How many bad moments and days have you had in the last like 2 to 3 years?
Well, fuck. In that time frame, a lot.
Well, take out lockdown.
So
take out lockdown and just... Yeah, it's hard because of that, the influence. But how many, like, maybe in the last 18 months? Related to your career, though.
How bad?
Like, bad enough where you're just like, fuck, this is
question it.
Yeah, this is tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even ballpark.
Yeah, there was at least 3-month period.
Yeah.
Where it was most days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not.
Where did we drive to?
Emil
and I had that conversation, and we both didn't want to tell each other, and then we told each other exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're
trying to tell a story, but as soon as I think that I get upset.
Yeah,
so
we're trying to paint the picture that, like, it's good to have these highs, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic to have them.
Yeah.
But it's like, they come at also a cost of dealing with these really, really big lows. And like for 2 people that have been in business for a really long time, been, trainers, advanced, involved in their career, got goals, we're on track to like hit some really monumental milestones, had that obviously like, drawn out significantly.
Yeah.
It's like, we've had some really good moments, but we've had some really, really hard ones too.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had my wife stop me. We were fighting about something. And she was just like, where's my husband gone?
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, so she was like, told you to get upset.
Yeah, it's all right.
So she was like, you just always found the answer.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Oof, man, I'm going to get emotional about that. Fucking hell. Wow.
It's the dad testosterone. I've lost all my testosterone.
Yeah. We're going to lean on that. I don't know. I'm losing some too. It's rubbing off on me as well. As Ben's other wife, I'm also getting emotional.
Yeah. So like, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
She's like, you've always had
away.
turmoil.
Yeah.
But you've always had the next thing.
Yeah.
And you take a couple of days and you figure it out. But she's like, you're so scared.
Yeah.
They've never seen you like this.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, okay. And then,
yeah,
mushrooms
Pivot.
fixed it.
Pivot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, but
it's
even
so to go from that to 3 days ago, and it's not something we're going to talk about publicly, at least for a little while. We've started a new pursuit in the business.
Yeah.
That I was just like, I think this is a thing.
Yeah.
And I think we could do it.
Yeah.
And signed the first, it's probably call it stage 2 of a potentially 5-step process. I audibly yelled at my phone, fist bumped, and was like, yes, like, fuck, this is a thing. Like, it happened. And you get that on the other side of it. And there's been heaps in between that time.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. But you don't get, so where I was kind of going with that is like, you don't get to there. You don't get to 3 days ago from even that moment with your wife, and even that really awkward conversation we both had in the car that really kind of never acknowledged it to each other of like, this has to turn or I'm thinking about something else.
Yep.
You don't get there unless you know why
you're here
and your values and all that shit. Like you don't get to there unless you have that understanding.
Yeah. Because
if you don't have that,
you're gone.
I would argue you wouldn't even get to that point.
Yeah, you're gone before that.
All the other stuff, like even pre-lockdown and shit, you just go, it's hard, fuck it, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Which is what you see with most people. They'll start a job.
Yeah.
And the job gets hard because jobs are hard, especially when you don't know something. Remember, it's hard when you don't know because it doesn't lean into anything in your values, or you're unaware that they do, or you haven't tried to create that link, because you don't have to just work to like have your values don't have to lie within your work, I would argue, but they have to serve a purpose for your values.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, this makes me money and that gives me opportunity and I have time because I don't work all the time, whatever it is. I would argue that because you don't have that link and that connection, they just bail.
Yeah.
And it's like, you see, you're that person that has like 10 or 15 jobs over their career because it's just bouncing at the first moment of, and then maybe some point they find something they love. You don't like it because the job's easier or it pays more or whatever. You might, but you stay in that job for longer because it serves a value or values that you either don't know that you're aware of that you have, or you are aware that you have them. Yeah,
I agree, 100%. So I think...
Sorry to make you cry getting there, Ben.
That's fine. Just needed to get it out, apparently.
You're allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go there. I was just like, you ever feel sad? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, there you go. Just letting you guys know that like it happens.
Yeah. So I think it's a good point you make there that we've just said like maybe you don't know your why early on.
Yeah.
And you just need to lean on those moments and start to figure out what triggers that, what makes it happen, what am I excited for, what am I willing am I willing to lose to win? What am I willing to do the shit for? Like, what's the outcome that I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And if it's like that self-gratification thing, it's like maybe, you know what I mean? Like if you do fall in that narcissism kind of category, maybe go see a psychologist and work on that. But you know what I mean? Like if you are in that, I want to help people, you don't really know why or what, even another layer deeper than that. Like we don't have, anyway. Back to what I was going to say. You can lean on values until you know your why.
Perfect.
If you don't have a super deep why yet, you can get a list of core values. You can identify which of them resonate the most with you. Even if you're wrong, it'll give you some direction, and then you'll find that you'll replace them over time.
Yeah. I think as you mature and stuff, they change anyway.
Definitely. Yeah.
They will. As your life changes, you will change.
Yeah.
And your values will change.